We know what to work on.
Oh! Oh, so that
Doesn't necessarily need to lead into a position where you're over under.
Oh, Sensei, you ever hear this one? What am I doing wrong?
All the time.
All the time. And there's a lot of nuance to like giving that advice, you know?
Oh.
You know what my go-to is? I wasn't watching him, sorry. I'm watching 25 guys in the mat, you know? And then it's like, is there something specific, you know? Zane does this all the time. Zane's over there. Sensei, what am I doing wrong? I don't know, I wasn't watching you the whole time, you know? And then even though when I'm watching it from the lens of safety. Making sure Zane's not killing somebody, making sure Zane's doing the right thing.
And Zane's not being killed by somebody.
No, you know.
Watch out for Zane.
And a lot of times I'll just peek in. Let's see what Zane's doing. He's aggressively gripping, going for stuff. All right, he's doing exactly what he should be doing. And then maybe one or two times he feels like he got caught with something or it didn't work. He wants to know why. I don't know. What does it say?
Yeah, too many factors. We just don't know. Sometimes we don't know.
Yeah, you said something great the other day. Somebody goes, hey, I just learned this thing from you. Why isn't it working? And you had a great answer to that.
What did I say?
You said, it's just a skill discrepancy issue. The guy you're going against is very good, and you just suck.
That's not what I said. But that was actually, that's not what I said, but that was a sentiment.
That was kind of, yes.
Yeah.
But you know, that's true, right? It's like the guy already knows what to do, how to counter it, how to defend it. You just learned this thing. Everyone knows you're going for it. He's just blocking you from doing X, Y, and Z.
You can't have the expectation of being very successful against resistance the first day or two or week or two that you're learning something, even more so when you're doing it with the person who showed it to you.
Yes.
You know, or someone who has been around for a long time. So you have to adjust your expectations for what's going to work, when, and with whom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes, what am I doing wrong can work if I say to you, hey, let's work out, and then you're mindfully present in trying to understand what I'm doing and give me feedback. Right? So this is going to be a Randori me versus you, but with the context of
It's not versus. I mean, we're
Judo versus Jiu-Jitsu. But that's like sort of the thing, right? And then it could potentially work. And then maybe you'll see some things that are on a macro level that I'm doing wrong. And I remember you gave me this advice once. You're never retreating, you're always just coming forward. And I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of a thing. I like pressuring forward. And you're like, no, but you have to strategically retreat in order to. And then that was a great macro thing. And then a minor thing, like sort of a micro adjustment or was a good example of that. You know?
well, that might be your foot position, or a place that your hand is, or sometimes even the timing of the technique that you're trying. You know, not you, but one is trying, and that's a thing that can be fixed right away. Oh, your hand's too low. You're trying for a cross collar strangle. Hand's too low. That's an easy fix.
Yeah.
But not everything is a technical fix. Sometimes it's a tactical fix.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a strategic fix. Mindset.
Yeah.
Partnering. A lot of different things can go on.
Oh. All right, so what is this from Randori? No waza sensei? Oh, all right. You want to pull guard or you want to start standing?
I'm gonna pull guard.
Pull guard.
Oh, let's start standing.
Standing, yes.
Yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen here. How's this gonna
Pull
go?
guard, sensei.
Okay, pull guard.
Sorry.
Good.
I really need
All right, first thing
that we know. First thing we know what to work on.
Oh! Oh, sensei.
Is that your testicles?
Yes, sensei.
Payback.
Those.
You don't call it the ball weaver for nothing. the ball weaver.
No DQs in this round.
Oh, Sensei. Okay, so what am I doing wrong, Sensei?
Well, for a striking match, this didn't go exactly as I expected. First of all, usually, I like to focus on what's going right to begin with. So, what's going right? Well, anytime you can use skills that you already have to level up something that's brand new or something that you're working on, that's always a huge advantage. One of the things that you do well all the time is grip breaking and grip fighting. Comes straight out of Tachiwaza stuff, but it makes it very difficult for the bottom person to get a meaningful connection in the way that they want to. And I think a lot of people overlook that. They don't spend as much time breaking grips or addressing grips, and so you're doing that very well. For instance, we're playing here, and even when I'm getting a good grip, you're quick to snap it off, and then you have confidence to keep your hips forward, head up. And this is a situation where it's hard for me to regrip. I don't really have the confidence. My back is moving towards the floor, and once we get into positions like this, now it's a bit of recovery for me. If I never really feel like I can get a meaningful control over your sleeve because you're always circling breaking, anytime I feel like I can't get a real meaningful upper body grip here, or every time I go to get grips posts on my with my legs, you're clearing them. That's a huge advantage for you. So we'll start with that, because oftentimes I think we get into modes where we're looking at kind of what's going wrong instead of what's going right, but that's something that's definitely going right. I'm going to put the question onto you. I have an answer, but I'm going to say, based on how we were training, what do you think that you would like to do better, or what do you think wasn't working for you that you would like to see working?
Well, me mostly, when I'm rolling with you, I think it's different, you know. Generally, I kind of have an idea, but for me, against you, I'm a little bit hesitant to go into the over-under passes or go, you know, underhook, because you have such a good clamp guard situation.
Right.
So, video
By my
instruction.
DVD.
But, right, so I'm a little bit more hesitant. Like, you know, when I get to these like flank positions, like, oh, there it is, I could go for that thing. I'm a little bit hesitant. Even going here and stuff like that, looking for this is sort of like prime territory for you to start working your plan. So I'm more so like worried about your offensive stuff, which I kind of don't want to be, you know, and I probably should get into there and learn more. But that was like one of the things that I was kind of missing, I think, today when I was working out with you.
Yeah, great. So one thing that you can always work on is you're doing a lot of good work in terms of your leg dexterity when you're with me and I'm supine on my back. Okay, so like we're stepping in here. Sometimes, you know, you're often able to pummel. You have a lot of leg dexterity, move side to side. If I'm playing De La Hiva, clearing it, or sometimes I was playing reverse De La Hiva here, clearing it, looking to pummel your leg.
Yeah.
This upright position is good. However, it's always a good idea to outflank the legs, but it doesn't necessarily need to lead into a position where you're over under. A great idea for you is to play with your head forward. Okay, you have confidence from here, from wrestling and stand-up grappling. So to get control of the toes, I get control of the feet, clearing a little bit to the outside, and then playing a head forward type of position, where it puts me on the defensive rather than the offensive. Why? Because if you come forward, you're a little heavier than I am. So if you can begin to move into positions like this, now there's a lot of work for the bottom person to do. I've got a post, I've got a frame, I've got to deal with the weight, and you can hang out here, right? So we can always, in the kind of keeping with this theme of advanced retreat, we can always play this sort of position as you go to push me back and away. Now from here, we can move out and change sides. You can always step your leg to the inside, do your front pommel work that you like to do, and then come back here. So sometimes I think people are a little hesitant to play with their head forward because they're worried about collars, getting snapped, strangles, front headlock. But when we're here, right, and a lot of times we're playing these kind of positions like this where I'm coming in here,
you can play your leg pommel game here, clear your leg out, and then immediately from here, look to start to play exactly a pressure game that's not around over-under, but rather your head position. And even as I go to adjust here, kind of maintaining this and taking your body from being in front of my legs out to your left side, so you're more 90 degrees to me here, this is a huge difference. You can feel immediately, it's super hard for me to gain a connection with my right leg here. Even if I try to bring my foot inside, you're gonna see that coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
And now from here, you can do stuff that you wanna do, passing this arm over the top, put your right hand on this side, spin around north-south, and here you are in the pin. So, if we were to do a little exchange right now, looking for ways to clear the legs, and then immediately exactly playing with this head position. As soon as you get to here, even as I go to post and create space, you can retreat a little bit here, coming back to the flank position to the outside, good, and then putting your head forward, exactly. You can even do some of this work from one knee down, yep, and one leg up, almost like a leg drag here, good, yep. And now, as I go to move, you can use your head as a barrier. So this is a great way of like advancing your guard passing, and thinking about it as not just being either over-under as a tight pass, or there's distance and you're afraid to close the gap.
So you're saying I'm kind of loose passing or looking for that close passing, but I want an intermediary where I'm using my head.
I think that's a great way of putting it.
So my medium range is not good. There's no threats there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think this is great. I mean, the other thing is that I think whenever we're working, having a work rate wise, in Judo, a lot of times work rate is high throughout. It starts and it generally is the same rate. In Jiu-Jitsu, it's very variable. Now you know this, you do this, and you know we're on the clock. It's 2 minutes, so it's like we're trying to get stuff done. But sometimes varying your pace in the same way that you would vary pace of attack, where sometimes things happen quickly, and other times things are moving a little bit more slowly. So the rhythm of movement from the top is a little bit uncertain for the bottom person, right? So even as I'm pressuring here, when I get a big reaction backwards and you're pushing me out here, I might take a little bit of time to regroup, move again, and then vary the pace. And I think that that's something that is hard to come by for people who are novice. You're not a novice grappler, but I mean like people who are novice grapplers. Regulating pace, and especially for people who are judokas who are coming into jiu-jitsu, the pace of, we've been talking about this, the pace of judo newaza, very different than the pace of jiu-jitsu newaza. So that's more of like a macro thing, where we're talking about like regulating pace and intensity. Then we have some more micro things, like closing the distance or playing with the head. And I think anytime we're talking about how to improve sensei, what did I do wrong? It's multiple layers of an answer. So I think one of the best things that you can do, just for folks who are watching, is if you do have a question, you can frame that question in a way that can be answered easily, or maybe not easily, but clearly by the person you're asking. And I'm sure you feel this too. When someone comes and says, "What am I doing wrong?" You're like, yeah. But if someone's like, I'm having difficulty. I tried to do this today with Gunji, because I had a question about Ashiguruma. And I tried to frame the question so he could answer it. You know, when I bring you a question like, why can't I keep control of the foot, you know, when I'm doing a foot sweep? Like, why does the guy keep stepping out? I try to frame it so that it's like, I'm giving you as narrow focus as you can have to answer the question that I have to solve the problem that I'm encountering. So I think that for people who are asking, if you're asking sensei or professor a question, like, zoom in as much as you can. If you're lucky enough to train with sensei, then you get a chance to say like, oh, what were some things that you saw me doing that you would improve on? That's always a great question. And then you just kind of have to work multiple layers, multiple levels.
One time Zane was like, "Sensei, let's work out." He's like, "Let me know what I'm doing wrong." And he kept blasting me in the knee that I just had surgery. So I was just worried about getting injured the whole time. So I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't get injured. And he's like, what did I do wrong? And I was like, wasn't even paying attention. It was full-blown survival mode. Right, Zane? Here's a real one though, Sensei. Okay. When I'm doing newaza with you, right, I kind of take this position, and then you're always quick to control the feet, right? And then I know in theory I should be able to work your hands first. Right? I don't want you controlling my legs. That's one thing. And then I don't play much from sort of a seated position here as much when I'm doing newaza with you. Those are just two, I think, is a huge gap. You know, do you have any advice for that?
I do. I think that whenever we're here,
it's just like standing position where we want to gain connection over our partner as early as we can. So if we're supine here, okay, and I'm in a supine position and I don't have any connection to you, unless we're playing with something specific, like under specific conditions, or you and I are just training together or whatever, I don't like to have no connection at all. So a lot of times, instead of going right to a supine position here, I try to get a grip on something. Cuff, collar, and then I'll go to supine from here, but there'll be some point of contact or connection. And if you're the one grabbing my feet here, even if I just get a 2-on-1, some people are not flexible enough to just kind of sit up and get this, but even if you can get one grip on your partner, it's better than having no contact at all, you know? And it's certainly better than another common thing that happens, like people will reach their legs out, okay, to try to make a connection with the legs, and you're good at this. You just step over, or sometimes you like football hike my knees through here, and now from here we're done. So anytime you're supine, you're on your back, and I'm starting to approach, trying to get some sort of grip right away. Yes, even this is better than nothing. Now, you take a cuff grip, now you've got something you can actually work with. Now you've got connection, and this is, so the idea of gaining an early connection that you can upgrade. All right, and I think in Tachiwaza it's the same. You can start with an inferior grip and then upgrade it.
So would you say like it would be better for me to gain some connections here first?
I generally think it's a better idea.
Because now you have to engage my upper body before you have contact with my feet.
Yes, and also, I mean, there are pros and cons to seated guard. You know, one of the cons is that if you're seated and you don't have a good offense, sometimes I can kind of misdirect, and it's easier for me to cut the corner. However, if you do have a sense of making a connection, you have the ability to stay mobile from a seated position in a way that you don't when you're supine. So from here, like we were doing today in the classroom, if you get a good grip here, once we get into this position, now from here, it's hard for me to get away. You have a good connection. And as I start to move, you can take advantage of my movement. Starting to off balance me, even if I push into you here, coming through deep half guard stuff, coming out the back, and all of this. So getting some form of connection is better than having no form. And getting connection from a seated position is often easier because you're closer than a supine position.
So the last question, this is a very specific one. When you have the ashi here, right? Do you like this move that I've been doing a lot when you have ashi kind of like this?
I think it's a cheater's move, but
forcing a DQ in jiu-jitsu rules and stuff?
yes, I think it's a cheater's move, but as in most, as in all sports, there's, there's a tranche for that. There's like, you just have to find your niche and you can occupy it, and maybe you're the guy who wins by all DQs. I mean, that's still a win, still a success, so. I like that. My favorite part was you kneeing me and then me kneeing you.
Well, that was a serious one.
When I need you?
That was a good one.
Yeah, you know what though? It was not, there was not like a lot of, it wasn't like I wound up in. I think it was more of like a crushing action. Just like a 1980s executive desk toy, like this thing, just clacking things together. But there are all different ways of disarming and off-balancing your opponent. And this is one of my favorite times.
Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you. Ooh,